Here at LTC we have 3 channels. That's 2 more than Disney, so why go there when you can come here? Let's take a look inside. Our channels have the best numbers. Channel 8 features local programming. Channel 95 is our global station which airs content in Khmer, Spanish, and Portuguese. Channel 99 is our municipal station which airs government meetings and other municipal content. Wowee!
Hello and welcome to LTC, Lowell's Media and Education Center. Lowell is the 4th largest city in Massachusetts, and when it was founded in 1823, it was the first planned industrial city in the United States. Now it is home to a National Historical Park, artist studios in the old mill buildings, and a large immigrant population from Cambodia, Latin America, and Africa. LTC operates the public access and government access channels in the city. We have 8 full-time staff, 2 high-definition TV studios, a podcast room, and 15 computer workstations. LTC has 275 members and 36 member organizations. Middlesex Community College teaches its digital media classes in our computer classroom. LTC offers quarterly workshops on a variety of media production skills.
Channel 8 is our English language access channel. We produce a bi-weekly news magazine show in collaboration with the local newspaper.
Welcome to LTC News. I'm your news anchor, Alana Flood. It's sometimes easy to forget that political policy made on a national and international level does trickle down to the local municipal level. Since President Trump announced back in May that the U.S. would withdraw from the Paris Climate Accord, over 340 mayors from cities around the country have vowed that their cities would continue to adhere to the international agreement. This group of mayors represents 65 million Americans in 44 states. Lowell's Sustainability Council, chaired by Jay Mason, is asking that the city of Lowell follow suit.
Well, all politics is about local, and it starts in our backyard. Essentially, what we are doing is advising the city on issues and actions about things that will make Lowell a more sustainable place. Looking at the issues of climate and responding in a way that makes sense. So if our federal government isn't supporting the Paris Agreement, we want to make it clear that right here in Lowell, we think it's important. We think the environment is something that's worth fighting for, and we're going to support this and try to move this forward right here in our backyard.
On July 28th, the Sustainability Council sent a letter to Mayor Edward Kennedy, urging him to align with the other city leaders across the country who have signed the mayor's agreement.
I think the mayor's pledge is good. I think that it's too bad that the federal government has stepped away from its commitment to, to climate change. And so I think it's to have mayors and communities step up towards that, I think is a good thing, and I'm happy to join in that effort.
At this week's City Council meeting, the mayor presented the letter and the council voiced its approval.
Members and staff help fill out the schedule with local programming.
I just want to touch on Francine's mention of diversity because that's important to us as well. So we have volunteers that speak other languages, which is so comforting to families and patients at that point.
Absolutely.
They understand
right.
kind of where they're coming from.
And that's hard to find sometimes.
Yes,
and you have
So I've introduced legislation that requires that there be a vote by the United States Congress. Under the United States Constitution, only the Congress can declare war against another country. We have abdicated this responsibility for too long. And it's one thing not to have declared it in war after war, but we cannot abdicate it when it comes to starting a nuclear war, because that will make all of the other wars, except for World War II, will look like patty cake.
Ella?
Did you guys hear that?
Yeah.
Just For Folk Festival, it's a time when people can set apart their differences and all come together under the fact and the belief that Lowell is a place for everybody. And that's really, for me, been the most incredible part of all of this.
Oh, absolutely. I can't disagree with you whatsoever on that. So now, Alana, this is also your first year hosting.
Yes.
So
we're going to celebrate the leak. And there's our friend Bob. And here we are, Lowell gas leak number 97, 264 Varnum Ave. Call National Grid, 1-800-233-53.
Is there an attempt by the government to portray the self-determination struggle as a terrorist activity, or your organization as a terrorist organization?
Oh, sure. I mean, we just heard now as we're coming here, the Minister of Communication, who has lied from the beginning of this story till tomorrow. Number one, they said there was no crisis, there was no Anglophone problem. And then by the time they accept that there's an Anglophone problem, all the leaders, even the leaders who were released, they were at some point considered as terrorists. So you arrest somebody on terrorism charges, you put them in a military court, and then 6 months later, having been bringing them every month to court and postponing the case, 6 months later, a Chief Justice of the Supreme Court comes and says, well, the government of this country is not even aware of this case. That's how symbolic they tell us we don't belong there, or we don't count for anything.
As you just kind of indicated there, Bet, what happened when Jack came out to Big Sur, most of you know, that story. He was kind of overwhelmed by all the attention he was getting after the publication of On the Road, and as you indicated, that drove him even further into his drinking. I mean, he had been a pretty heavy drinker up to that time, but when he got all the accolades, and both the accolades and the really severe criticism that came his way, Jack was just not prepared to be a public person. That was the thing of it. He just wanted to come and hang out with Neil and Carolyn and play with you kids, and he didn't really need all that, and so that kind of overwhelmed him to the point that he went even deeper and deeper into his drinking, and that kind of started the tailspin that very tragically eventually took his life.
I shoot it. Somebody make some noise for Larry Gallagher! What? Come on! Hey!
And welcome to the City Council synopsis for the meeting of November 21st, 2017. This is hard for me to say without getting choked up, but this will be the very last City Council synopsis. I know it's heartbreaking, but all mediocre things must come to an end. A lot of people have asked me how I create all of my graphics for this show, and since this is the last segment, I figured I'd share my secret. So it's actually really simple. This beast right here, this is the Graphics 3000, and what you do is you're just going to take like an accurate drawing of whatever you want to do. Today we're going to do Mr. Bean riding a rocking horse. We're just going to take it, you write a brief description, and then you're going to take it, you fold it up, you put it right in the Graphics 3000. So the first thing you do when you got your graphic in there is you want to put in a debit card, credit card, EBT card, anything like that. It takes anything you want. Next, you're just going to need a little blood. You're just going to take a little pin and just, right through the finger. Next, we're just going to need a little bit of hair. Did you shave the intern?
I did, freshly shaven.
Perfect, thank you. So a lot of people like to bake their graphic. I actually think the Graphic 3000 actually works better if you freeze it, so we're going to put it in the freezer. After about 30-40 minutes, you're just going to take your graphics out of the freezer, and you can put it down on any round table. The table has to be round. And you just pick it up, pull it out, and there's your graphic. City Manager Kevin Murphy provided the council with an update on the Rourke Bridge. Most of you probably know that the Rourke Bridge is a temporary bridge that has been in use for over 30 years. Now, if your dentist were to install a temporary bridge that he left in and refused to replace for 30 years, you'd sue him for malpractice. But since this is a state government project, they can take their time and 6% of every Black Friday purchase you made while we sit and wait in terrible traffic.
Artist Jerry Levan, who created the monument called Khmer Refugee, is a National Endowment for the Arts Fellow and one of just a few Cambodian traditional ceremonies living today.
Like to translate in English, just brief a little bit. He very proud of Cambodian community. He very proud. He say thankful to all the community who have donated little penny, $10, $20, anywhere private donation.
LTC is really the voice of Lowell around the world. Channel 95 is the non-English language public access channel. It has live programming Monday through Thursday nights, primarily in Khmer, the Cambodian language.
អស់លោកអ្នកជ្រាបទេគឺក្មេងៗអាចធ្លាក់ខ្លួនឈឺដោយសាររោគគ្រុនផ្ដាសាយធំនេះច្រើនជាងមនុស្សធំយើងទៅទៀតកូនឬក៏ចៅរបស់លោកច្រើនឆ្លងមេរោគ
សូមស្វាគមន៍អ្នកទាំងអស់គ្នាយើងមានការសប្បាយរីករាយណាស់ដែលអ្នកបានសម្រេចចិត្តចូលរួមជាមួយនឹង LTC វីដេអូខ្លីនេះនឹងណែនាំអ្នកអំពីការទទួលនិងការចែកចាយព័ត៌មានជាសាធារណៈនិងពន្យល់អំពីរបៀបនៃការចូលរួមក្នុងបណ្ដាញ LTC
Okay, fine. Just tell us fine. I think we can.
Vìល្អចំពោះខ្មែរយើងមួយចំនួនពីព្រោះរឿងអីបានខ្ញុំចង់ទុកនៅបានខ្ញុំគ្រប់គ្រងនៅ downtown ទៅ Collie ក៏ទៅចោះខ្ញុំអត់មានថាអីទេក៏ប៉ុន្តែខ្ញុំយល់ថានៅ downtown ល្អជាងល្អរឿងអី
¿Algún ejemplo de esas reglas diferentes de lo que es emigrar de Latinoamérica a Estados Unidos en cuestión financiera, Nicolás, por favor?
Sí, algunas cosas, por ejemplo, aquí muchas cosas que es importante es aseguranza de vida.
Some of our volunteer producers have been doing a weekly show for more than 20 years.
ចុងបញ្ចប់នេះលោកតាលយាភូមិញនេតិសិក្សាសមាធិកម្មដ្ឋានសូមអរកាយគ្រប់លា
រូបភាពមួយយើងហៅភាសាអង់គ្លេសថា at large Lowell គឺជាទីក្រុង at large city បានន័យថា city councilor ឬក៏ក្រុមប្រឹក្សាទីក្រុងមួយរូបណាមួយដែលជាប់ឆ្នោតគឺតំណាងឲ្យប្រជាជនទាំងអស់ទាំងចំនួន
Channel 99 is the government channel with live coverage of 7 meetings each week from City Hall and other municipal related programs.
Give them a big round of applause. That was fantastic. Oh, listen to those trumpets. Get it. Woo.
Let's not forget the band joined by the Riverhawks' beloved mascot, Rowdy the Riverhawk.
Give it up for Rowdy.
Catch him all around town, but don't miss him at the Songa Center for UMass Lowell hockey or men's and women's basketball.
Your views as far as how we should be approaching this new frontier.
And it's not just my views as the commission, as the chair, because we have a 5-member commission,
and we can't express any opinions that isn't supported by the whole commission.
Right.
So these things that I'm saying now about where we think we ought to go and what's important relative to online sports comes from the full commission.
Let me switch gears just quickly and move on to this emerging world of esports, related but unique form of online gaming and video game players. You know, for those.
Welcome, Lowell, to our second Candidates Forum for the Lowell School Committee. My name is Jim Campanini, editor of The Sun. This one-hour program is being brought to you in collaboration with Lowell Telecommunications Corps, our partners in this endeavor. This evening, as I said, this program will begin and will last for 1 hour. Each candidate will have 1 minute to respond to a question. There will be rebuttal if necessary. I'm now going to turn over the program to the moderator of this panel, Chris Scott, the enterprise editor at The Sun. Chris, take it away.
Thank you, Jim. I'd like to introduce the candidates this evening. To my left is Tim Blake, one of the challengers. And then I'm followed up by two incumbents, Andy Dakota and Connie Martin. And then we have two more challengers, Dominic Lay and Dennis Mercier. If you guys tuned into the first debate, I think you did, would like to try to mix it up a little bit. And if you guys have a desire to respond to what someone else said, just give me a nod and we'll try to do that. So without further ado, we'll get right to the questions.
Mr. Manager, I think that's an area where he talked about that there is a possibility of funding. It's not easy, but the thing is, I think this is an area where we have to just really look at, because it can give us an immediate relief as we develop other programs. Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Any further discussion? If not, we'll move on to speed radar display on Beacon, Mount Pleasant, and Reservoir Street. Any discussion?
Lowell has a tremendous reputation for boxing.
I wanted to point out at one of the Golden Gloves in 1973 in Lowell featured Marvin Hagler, Sugar Ray Leonard, Aaron Pryor, and Leon and Michael Spinks. For any of you boxing fans, you probably know those names, world champions. So they were all at the same Golden Gloves in Lowell in 1973, and I think that they said that that's probably probably the best boxing talent that's ever been in Lowell at a single time in one place, having all those great fighters.
I would think that would be the biggest boxing talent we've ever seen in Lowell.
Yeah, I think so. I would have loved to have been at that Golden Gloves.
Can you imagine?
Like many public access stations, we're looking to diversify our funding sources. So we're promoting our fee-based production services.
The technology, the creativity.
Lowell Telecommunications Corporation.
Lowell, Massachusetts.